Hello everyone. Welcome back to our Python programming course. I'm really happy to have you here again. So, Today we are going to cover another very good important topic that is strings. In previous lecture, we learned about loops, and now we are going to move forward. A string, I have told you multiple times. I don't think so. I need to repeat it again and again. What is a string? So string is an ordered sequence that is enclosed within double quotes. String can be stored as text, single letter, number, words, even punctuation marks, even a space. Whatever is inside double quotation would be considered as string in Python. So I have already told you there are three methods of creating strings: single quote, double quote, triple quote. Single quote is just it's simple that you name a variable, that then you enter your text and enclose it in single quotation. Then there is a double quotation when you enclose in double quotes, and there is triple quotation, that's where we use it in where we use three quotes and we enclose the string inside three quotes. We use this for multi-line strings. So whenever we have to create a paragraph or a letter or a document, so we use triple quotes only in that case when we have to use multi-lines. So you must be thinking that why we are using, I have already told you, by the way, that why we use different methods of creating a strings. You have to let me know in the comments that why do we have different methods? Now, string indexing. This is something a new topic to you. So, what is indexing means that we assign a position value to each character of the string. Each character in the string has an index or a position value, which is very much helpful in accessing them easily. For example, I am creating a string called Python. Okay, so here's the Python. Every character has its own value. So it always starts from zero. That's why it is called zero indexing. Remember that. And we assign the first value as zero. Then we go one, two, three, four, and move on. So what if you want to like print? If I am printing, print whatever the our variable was, then we are using a square bracket. This is a syntax too. Then whatever the index we want. For example, I want the zero index value. What is written on the zero index of this variable? So I got the answer P. That is for P for Python. If I do it for 5, then I will get the answer N. Okay. Now similarly, there is something called reverse or I would say negative indexing. What happens? Now we will start indexing from the last character. So since it's six letters, 6 minus 5 minus 4 minus 3 minus 2 minus 1. Remember, when we are using negative indexing, we never start from zero. This is the difference between a forward indexing in the positive indexing and the negative indexing. In the negative indexing, we always start from minus one, not zero. This is important. Don't confuse yourself with it. Okay. So if I now print minus one, then two I got n. If I choose minus, let's say 5, why? Remember, if you choose an index value more than the given number, like if I choose minus 7, then it will give me an error saying that string indexing range is your string range is out of the league. There is only six characters, and you are asking me for the seventh character. But if I add in like a space between, and now I print the last character, So space has been printed. Remember, Python also counts spaces also. So remember that. Now string slicing. Is nothing but extracting a substring using the syntax that have been given here. Slicing is similar to like whenever we have a cake. Now what we do is we just slice the cake into different parts. Similarly, there is called string slicing. So for string slicing, for example, in this Python only, I can print it like, okay. Now what I did is I printed. So in remember first thing, I have told you in range 2, if you will not add anything here, so it will defaultly take first value from zero index. So it will automatically choose the zero index. So it gave me answer PYT. What happened here is whenever we are slicing it, the starting value is always included, but the ending value is always excluded. So what is going here? Since is P is 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. Since 3 is in our ending range, it won't be printed. Only the previous one, that is the second index value, that would be printed. So we have printing PYT. And similarly, if I do it like this, what I am doing here, I have started the value from 3, but I have not given any ending value. So what will happen? From 3, that is H, it will going to print rest of the string part. So remember this. This example has been set here only. Okay, so what is happening from index to the end? Whatever the end is, you can just carry on. Now there is some very important trick is that whenever you want to print an reverse of a string, you just have to remember this two semicolons and negative n minus one. This will give me the reverse of a string. This is an important question to remember and a shortcut trick. Okay, so start is inclusive, end is exclusive, and the in the inversing, what I have done is I have not set the starting value, neither the ending value. I just given the steps that you have to remove minus one. You have to just jump minus one from whatever you're taking. For example, so what is happening here? It is taking from back and it is just moving minus one, minus one, minus one, minus one. So it is giving us me the reverse of this. So the syntax would be whatever the variable name is, square bracket, starting value, ending value, and if you have to have steps to count or you have to jump from something, then you can do accordingly. Okay. String operations. I have already told you about concatenation in previous videos multiple times. Repetition, when suppose I have a string and I use a multiplication operator and write that I want to multiply this multiplied by 3. So what will happen? High would be printed 3 times. It will be not just adding or something. It will just multiply, I would say, repeat the string 3 times. Then membership operators, I have discussed that topic in the operator video. Len. Now, len is an important function that you should remember. Len is nothing but it tells about the length of the function. Like you have to use len since it's a function, curly braces, and name the variable. So it will let me know that how many characters are there inside your variable. Since there is a space to it is counting as 7. If I remove the space, then it would be counting from to it 6. So remember in Python, space is also counted. Now common string methods. These are nothing but built-in string methods that that are very useful for us. So for example, I want to just make this whole string into a lowercase, or I just want to make it in uppercase. I'm printing both. See what happens. So upper function, whatever the we have used in upper as a function, lower as a function. So upper and lower just changes the case of the whatever the string is there. Okay. This would be very helpful when you will be using complicated or making complicated programs. Next is title and capitalize. So this might make look similar, but they are very much different. So what happens here is when I use capitalize, whatever the string ha is, the first letter of that string would be changed into an uppercase. While in title, every string after the space, every part of the string would be every part of the first letter in the string after the spaces would be changed into uppercase. You can see the difference. Here is for I is smaller in the first example rather than the second example. So this is capitalize and title. Then strip. Strip is nothing, just if you want to remove extra spaces, then we use this function. So what it will do, the leading or the trailing spaces would be removed. See, otherwise it would be printed like this. But since I have used strip function, it has been removing the extra spaces. Then there is another that is replace. So what replace do is to replace a word. I want to change Python to Java. Okay. I'm removing the extra spaces. I don't want it. So I want to replace Python to Java. See what will happen. Now Java is being printed. Even you can check. Now you can even count also. Now how to do counting is if you want to know how much key is there inside this whole string. So I will use the count function and it give me the output. Similarly, if you want to find, so what find do is it will let me know at what index place this word is. You can even add a word here or a character. It is upon you. If I ask at what place t is, so it will let me the index value of t. So the value is 2. Okay. Now escape characters and draw strings. So escape characters and new tab is very much essential for you to understand. For example, I am printing hello, but I want world to be printed in the next line. So what I will do is I will add a escaping character that is /n. This will create a new line. Now the word would be printed in the next line. See. And if I want space between them, instead of that, I want a tab space. Now, what is a tab space? Four backspaces equals to one tab space. In your keyboard, there is a key called tab. So, tab give us one tab space equals to four backspaces. So, it giving me the value of four backspaces. Okay. Here, there is a four spaces gap. Now, since reversing a string, I have already told you. Palindrome and reversing a string is almost similar. What ha you have to do in palindrome, you have to use here an if-else statement to check if the given string is equal to the reverse of it. Okay, so that is a palindrome. So these two tasks would be like performed by you, and loop through characters would be also performed by you. Now, if you want, I can then you have to use replace function and you have to like count the occurrence of a word by your own, and you can try multi other whatever the function we have discussed. You have to use for loop in the first question. This is a hint I'm giving you. You just have to use for loop and you have to iterate through each value. We have done a similar question in our previous video, so you won't be facing a very much tough problem. Now let's for counting the vowels, I'm letting you know how. For example, text input, enter your value. Okay, count. Now, what I'm doing here is I am initializing a variable that has zero value. Since I have to do counting, I'm already telling it, okay, your value is zero. It will be keep updating. Then for, okay, for I in text dot lower, I'm changing each character into a lower function automatically because I don't want that because of uppercase and lowercase there is any error in my program. So otherwise I have to create IOU. Otherwise I have to write it like this. Then I have to write it like this. You can do it like either way if you don't want to change it. So you have to So you have to write it like this, that all lower and upper characters are being included. So you can do it using a membership operator that if for I in text, whatever the now I will be working as a I would say a cursor and it will iterate through each word. Then if condition would be checked that if the I, whatever the cursor is iterating have the value of these string what I have written, or you can use if I is is equal to this. If any of this character has been matched, then you have to add one value to the count. The count would be updated. You will whatever the value of count would be, you will add one in it. And at the last, we are completing the loop. At the last, I want to know what value of count came as an output. This is how you build logic. This is a very simple program. So I am explaining you step by step. Hope you are understanding. For example, Isha. Okay, wait. Okay. So if you are using a equal to operator, then you have to use a string or you have to use or function that will create a misunderstanding. I will let you know that program when we will cover the list. Okay. Till now you understand that I have used a membership operator here only. Since I have two vowels in my name, so two has been given as an output. So I hope you understood this. Now, in the previous section, we learned everything about strings, how to create them, access character, perform operations, solve some problems. Now imagine you are creating a program for a school. You need to score marks of five students. One way, what you will do, one way is like student one got whatever, student two, three, four, five got these marks. It looks okay for five students, I'm doing it. But if there are 500 or 5,000 students, you will create 5,000 variables for them. And even that, many of the student name would be similar. Then it would create like multiple confusion. Programming is all about writing a smarter code. That's why we have list. A list allows us to store multiple values inside one variable. Lists are one of the most powerful and frequently used data structures in Python. Whether you're developing a website, AI models, mobile apps, you will use lists everywhere. By the end of this PPT, you will be able to create a list, access it, modify it, add new values, remove values, use some list functions, and we will try to solve some problems as well. So, what is a list? A list is an ordered collection of an items stored inside a single variable. So, when we have a collection of items, we are storing it in a one separate variable. Instead of creating many variables, we keep it together. So, for example, since here I have written like students Aman, Riya, Isha. Instead of writing it differently, like student 1 Aman, student 2 Riya, student 3 Isha, I have just summarized all of that in single line. We simply write one list. So, features of list, let's understand their characteristics. First, ordered. Items always keep their position. Aman is first, Riya is second, Isha is third. Python remembered this order. It is mutable. Unlike string, string is immutable. Lists are mutable. That means we can change them later. We can update them according to our wishes. This is one of the most good advantage of a mutability is one of the good advantage of a list. Okay, so yeah, that means you can change, add, or remove items after creation. Okay, so mutability is one of the most good advantage of a list. Okay, for example, I will give you an good easy example. Suppose there are fruits, apple. I am storing an ordered collection of a string. Okay, you can even add a number in between. There is no such issue. Always remember, list is enclosed in the square bracket, and I want to iterate the first index value, and I want to change it to orange instead of like mangoes. Print fruit. Let's see. Fruits. See, it has been updated. So this is unlike strings. List can be added or updated as per your whatever your need is. List allows duplicate values. As I told you, if you're creating a system for 500 students, many of students would be having similar name. Python accept this problem for list and same values can reappear multiple times. That's why this is a third advantage of a list. Mixed data type. As I already told you, list can store any kind of data together. String, integer, float, boolean, all together, all differently. List can do anything. So we are using shopping list in our daily uses, and we add quantity there. So playlists are there, and phone contacts are there. Everything we are just using list only. So remember how to create a list. You have to use enclosed a square bracket. Using a square bracket and commas, and your list would be created. Creating list is extremely easy. Okay, so the square brackets are compulsory. Remember that. Python has no problem in storing different data types together. There is one thing called empty square brackets when we create, then it is called an empty list. Sometimes you don't have data yet, so we will just create an empty list, and later we can add items because, as I told you, list is like we can change it. Some students accidentally uses a parenthesis. What is parenthesis? These, what we are using in the print function are parentheses. You cannot use the string list as by using parentheses. You always have to use these square brackets. Okay. Now, if you want to access the list elements, now we have created list. How do we access individual elements? So exactly the same way the characters have has been accessed in strings, we can access in like list only. Okay. For example, I have already created a list. I know the values. This apple has 0, mango has 1, and one has 2 as an index value. Okay. If I print fruits 2, so 1 has been printed. Okay. So remember, now if you want negative indexing, I want to print -2. So mango has been printed because -1, this is -2. So negative indexing also works. Suppose I make -5. List index is out of the range. So remember that you cannot enter the range which is not applicable. Okay. If there are only 4 items, you cannot write it like print 10th index of the value. It will give you the index error because that index doesn't exist. Always remember, largest positive index is the length -1. Okay. But what I mean by that is, since there are 3 items, I will -1 to that 2. So the largest index value in this is 2. And you can count it to 0, 1, 2. So largest positive index is length -1. Okay. Now, since I have already let you introduce to the list slicing, string slicing. So list also supports slicing and it is very much similar to that only. To reverse a list, you have to do similar thing. There is a starting value, ending value, and step value. Start is included, end is excluded. Okay. So if you want to reverse a list, so you have to use this kind of simple short trick, two semicolons -1. Okay. So we have quickly, I know this was a little bit quick, but this is almost a similar concept that we have done in strings. So far, we have learned how to create a list, how to access them. Now learn one of the most biggest advantage, mutability. Remember when we studied strings, I already told you that, okay, strings are immutable, meaning they cannot be changed after creation, but lists can be. Lists are different and are mutable, which can be modified, added, or removed. Elements could be removed whenever we want. So if you want to change an existing element, suppose we have a list here that we have already created. Now imagine I want to change mango to orange that I have already done. So you can easily change it. I already told you the example. Another thing we can do is use append function. Okay. So what is append function is, now I want to say that this is a, let me make it. Now, what I think now this is something I have in the stock in the fruit market. Now the shopkeeper thinks that okay, and now I have want to add more in that without like entering it manually. So what we can do is we will do fruits dot append, which is a function, and I want to enter grapes in it. That I have added grapes in it. So let's see what happens. Oh, sorry, I haven't printed. So, and print fruits to see how I have in the stock. Apple, mango, guava, grapes. Remember this? Append always add an element at the end of the list. Okay. Next is insert function. So what insert function is? Now suppose you want to want kiwi to appear at the second position. You want to add at a specific position. So what I will do, instead of append, I am going to use, these are the built-in function of list. So I'm using insert, and I want um, lychee, for example, lychee to be added on the second place. Okay, or on the 0th place, like the first position. So lychee has been updated at the first position. So insert is different from append, is like it let us decide the position of it. Now next we have extend. Sometimes we don't just want to add one item, we want to combine two, three items inside a list. So then you have to use extend. So what extend is, I am creating another list and I am adding it inside papaya and kiwi. Okay, see, it has been added, but at the last. But we have think of extend as joining two shopping lists together, two lists together. So this were some of the built-in function. Now this was adding the elements inside a function. What if you want to remove? So you can remove to using a remove function. For example, I want to remove, I don't want now apple in my list. Okay, so it will be removed. Notice something important. Here we remove the item using its value, not its position. Okay, now we are using pop. So pop. For pop, I am adding the index value. For example, I want to remove whatever there is on the first. So mango has been removed. Pop is something that is based on the index value. Whatever the written on the first index would be removed. If we simply write like this, so the last item would be removed automatically. Okay, so remember this. Now del is a keyword. It's not a function, it's a keyword. So it won't be used like this. It would be used as del fruits. I want to remove this whatever on the second index there is. I want to remove that. So guava has been removed. Mango and apple is being printed. Okay. We can even delete an entire slice. There is no such issue. Just you have to do a simple trick. Use a semicolon and you have an empty string there. Okay. So remember this. Now we have a clear. So clear is done like del. Remember del is a keyword. It's not a method or a function. Okay. Now fruits. I want to clear. Mm, okay. Now we have the empty string. The list still exists, but all items would be removed. Now you must be thinking, which method should I use? So remember, when you are using remove, remove is going to remove by value, pop is going to remove by index, and returns the removed value. Whatever the value you have removed, it will pop up like that. Okay. Del is a keyword which can index or slice. Okay. Clear is for emptying the whole list. So these were some of the important things I want to. let you know. Append, extend, we have done. Now, insert, we have done. There are some more list methods. Let's discuss them too. Sort. Now, for that, I'm changing numbers and creating it casually. Okay. I have casually entered some numbers, okay, but I wanted to sort them. So what I would do is numbers dot sort and then print numbers. Even if you want now, you can even use this function inside the print method directly. Like if you don't want to add a whole line, I'm doing it so that you don't get confused. Okay. Okay. So, but right now I am doing it simpler. Let's see how it works. So now numbers have been sorted in the ascending order. For example, you want it in descending order, so you have to do one thing. Reverse equals to true. Now it will be printed in the descending order. See? Now again, next function that we are going to discuss is reverse. As the name suggests, this simply changes the order. It does not sort. It will never going to sort. Students often confuse reverse with sort. Reverse just is going to reverse the order, not going to sort it. Now count, though you already know what count is for. If I want to know how many sticks are there in this list. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, that this should be written directly in the print statement. See, one is has been printed. If you want to know index of 6, so you can get that too. If you want to copy, sometimes you want to want another copy of the list, then you can use copy function. And there is one more similarity that we have len function here. So remember that. So len function are used as per the things are there. So there are 6 items. So len have been giving me the value. Now I am going to practice some of the programs. First is creating a list. Okay. And one more function I want to discuss is max. Max and min. So what you will do is you will can easily find the maximum value and you can easily find the minimum value using this function. Okay. So if even there is one more that is sum that will add all these numbers easily. You can even, if you want, for example, if I want to need a program that gives me the average. Okay. So for that, suppose I'm creating another variable average. So average is going to simpler version of this. And I'm going to print average. The sum of total numbers plus divided by the numbers, total numbers are there. So we will get the average. Okay. So congratulations, you have completed today's lecture on strings and lists in Python. So you have revised, I'm going to revise everything, what we have learned today. What is a string? It is anything enclosed in double quotation. We created a string. There are 3 types of way to create a string, that is single, double and triple quotes. Indexing, slicing, some string operations like upper, lower, and replace, count, find. String method, escape character, that is slash n and slash t. Practice some programs. And for list, we have done what is a list, features of it, why it is mutable, and some of list methods, practice some examples. These two topics are extremely important because almost every project will use them. Master these concepts before handling tuples and dictionaries, and then we will move to file handling. So for that, you can try these exercises. Create a list of your family members and print them in reverse order. Write a program to count vowels in a sentence. Replace a word in a string. Find the largest and the smallest number in a list. And create a reverse of string without reverse method. If you found this lecture helpful, don't forget to see other videos also. And if you have any question or if any concept was unclear, feel free to ask in the comment section. I will be very happy to help you. Okay, so bye.